Buenos Dias Gunners Collective. Back at it? You already know. Like a motherfucking smack addict, right? And as you can tell by that thumbnail right there, game over. Flip, 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 game over. The game is finally, indubitably, without a shadow of a doubt, over for these two gentlemen. It's a wrap. It's a rap-a-lapagus. And in Menudo style and direct fashion, we're going to talk about it right now. I'm going to give you guys some direction, some glitch, some education. My perspective points you in the right way to go. And I'm going to tell you right now, pobrecitos, it's over, humps. You know, let's take it on back. Black Widow operation. La nuestra familia. The familianos found themselves in impending danger. There was a case, humps. There was a case building. And we all know about it. Everybody has heard story after story after story after spill after YouTube video concerning the situation. Recently, it's taken a different turn. But in order to know the future, you got to know the past, right? And they call gun the ghost of Christmas past. So let's go on back, and I'm going to talk about it. Now, when all these top leadership got caught up by the federal agents, there was really nothing you could do to these guys. A lot of these guys were lifers as it was. They were sitting down all day. They had been back in them shoes for 20 plus years. And they had been running their programa tight. You know, they'd been running a tight ship. They've been doing their thing, supposedly, allegedly. Without a shadow of a doubt, man, these guys were not playing. At the end of the day, they end up all getting indicted, all end up catching cases, and all end up going to federal prison. Now, at that time, several Nuestra Familia members were left behind and decided that if for no other reason, they should step up to the plate and control California, take over Califas. You know, Califas is the stronghold for the organization. So these vatos felt that if for no other reason, they should be leadership, being one Chuco de Sanjo, what's his name, fucking Rabbit, de fucking Sacra or LA, nobody knows, and one Mr. DC Cervantes de Chino. So these vatos decided, hey, I'm the general, like Lencho, and they took over. Now, from what I heard, these guys are the ones that brokered the deal between different organizations to go ahead and start this end to hostilities, which was a fantastic thing. It was a great thing. It was something no one ever foreseen before. It was something that no one that was gangbanging in the 90s or the 80s would think that would happen, but it happened. You know, and I'm proud to say, Sasuke, I love it. I'm loving it. Kind of like Mickey D's, better, just a little bit better because the Mac sauce, that's not good anymore. It's watered down. But they went with this end of hostilities, man. The raza's on the yardas getting along, hand in hand. Vatos are doing their thing. There's a lot of business being conducted, a lot of feria being made. Califas was rolling, right? But at the same time, these vatos that were in the feds, very well-respected individuals that need their just due, Holmes. They should be respected. Said, Charlie's, Holmes. Charlie, you know, what do you mean, Holmes? All of a sudden, we're not fucking the men anymore. We are the men. We're going to continue to be the men. And so there's nothing you could say about it, nothing you could do about it. Of course, there was filters back and forth. People not happy with one side or the other. And that's quite understandable. You know, you got to understand these older vatos, these veteranos, these vatos that have been doing it for so many years in a high leadership role, felt some type of way. I understand their plight. Whereas these new younger guys were like, fuck that, host, we're going to do us. Bandito moves, traitorous moves, cowardice acts. And I'm going to tell you why. When vatos are in leadership roles, doesn't matter what fucking organization, doesn't matter if it's the mob, doesn't matter if it's a local street gang, doesn't matter if it's a fucking little league baseball team. When vatos play that leadership role, they are to be respected as such. Okay, the only way a leader goes out is if he goes out ass backwards, he gets a pegada put down on him, or he gets rolled up out of the situation because vatos are like, fuck that, Charlie Holmes, I know what you did. No, and then game gets, you know, it gets a little crazy, and the inner workings of that organization will handle their own. But when vatos get displaced or they get moved to a different pinta or a different penitentiary, that doesn't mean the next vatos can shun them or could say ostracize them or say, oh man, you're incommunicado or we can't get at you. Because Sasuke, you could call on Tyrone. There's always those. Okay, there's always this. There's always that. There's ways to communicate in this world. You know, I'm hitting with the little, what's up one time for their mind. Reach back to your gente. Reach back to the familianos. Reach back to the vatos that paved the way. The founding fathers of the fucking foundation for which you fucking put your name on. Hit them back, vato. Say, what's up? Jewel. But that didn't happen Greedy intentions, traitorous ways, and bandito acts is what took over. And these three vatos implemented their own part of the organization. And that's where we had a split between the state and the Fed factions. Now, in the last few months, last couple months, what happened? Because, you know, all good things must come to an end. The Fed said, Orale, Chuco, roll it up. It's time to go. Boom. They snatched up individuals. Somebody started telling. Now, we've been hearing that a lot of people are doing this, right? But we don't know, so I'm not going to put nothing out there. And even if I did know, I wouldn't put it out there just based on it's not my fucking room to speak on it. You know what I mean? I'm not for sure. And so skip, bang, bang. I'm not going to do it. It's not my business. But at the end of the day, these vatos all got caught up in this Operation Quiet Storm, and now they're out the way. They're gone, right? They're sitting down in Atwater Federal Prison, right there by Califas. We could throw a rock from my hood, and hit the fucking Castle Air Force Base as well as their cell. The vatos are right there, sitting down. What's going through their mente? I'm gonna tell you what's going through their mente. Dispensa, right? That's the first thing that they want to say. The second thing they want to say is, "Oh shit, you know you don't fucked up, right, blood?" You know, that's what happens. So what happens when things like this happen? I'm going to tell you what happens. A new leadership role must arise. Okay? I'm not going to give you the details into who's doing what and how they're doing it. Let's just say it's happening as we speak. And there's been some type of communication between that Fed side, which now we won't even call it a Fed side. It's all one now. And that state side, which we won't even call the state side because, Charlie, it's all one. It's always been one in my eyes. They are what they are, man. And I righteously give these vatos their respect because it's earned and, you know, and they're going to demand it. But at the end of the day, this is how it goes down. There's Vato Chuco and Rabbit in DC. What is supposedly going to happen to them? Well, I'll tell you what's going to happen to them. First and foremost, game over. Game is over. They are no longer in these leadership roles. They are no longer looked at as leaders. They are no longer generals. They are no longer nada. I'm going to tell you what I think. This is just my opinion. What's going to happen? Either they're going to tell. They're going to keep these vatos isolated, away from general population and away from this faction. Because if these vatos happen to hit the main line, these vatos will have their head all the way up their ass faster than a rabbit can get fucked 2 times. I'm telling you, it'll be bad for them. It'll be a bad situation. How are they going to do it? And to what degree they're going to do it? I can't call it, but let's just say it'll get done. That's a promise. Or these vatos could try to hold on to some type of dignity, some type of whatever, man, and say, Charlie Holmes, we ain't going out like that, and form their own little mob or with their own little thing. That's going to fizzle out like Pop Rocks in Coke, right? It ain't going to happen, bro. It just ain't going to work. You know, you got to understand a lot of these old group organizations from Califas as well as all over the United States have been well established for a very, very, very long time. And they ain't going nowhere, Holmes. The gangs in LA don't never die. Just multiply. Color. You know what I mean? They're going to keep on going. There's no way for the federal government or any rogue bandito characters to tear down said organizations that have a fucking strong foundation and a strong backbone. You know, hey, the game just, time keeps on ticking. The clock just keeps on ticking. You know, vatos are not stupid. Vatos are up to par. Vatos are very well laced in the game. They know what's up. And this goes for every organization, man. We're talking about Kumi Jama. We're talking about NFM. We're talking about the Skins, Whites, Woods, AB, whatever the case may be, NLRs. These group factions, these organizations are very respected in a high fashion because if not, they're going to give it to you. It's going to give it to you. They ain't playing, right? Now, trip out. So I specifically wanted to talk about Chuco and how he found himself in that position. Okay, from what I ever heard about Chuco was he didn't catch no bodies. He ain't never caught not one body in his life. He was actually a lookout. Okay, and I've spoke on it before. I've said it before. He was a lookout in the Brown Bob incident where Bad Boy Bernius, Beto Avila, and the other guy, man, handled their business. Dreamer Escamilla, you know, from East Side Hood, Sanjo. And they did this fucking murder on Brown Bob, okay, from Morgan Hill. A very well-respected senior member of the NF. Now, when they did this, whether it was sanctioned or not sanctioned, I don't know. I've never laid my eyes on a filter saying one way or the other. It is neither here nor there. It happened. At the end of the day, the vato was gone, and these vatos were the ones implicated in it, and these were the vatos that got convicted with it, right? Of course, Beto didn't quite make it to trial. He didn't even quite make it to a few days later, but it happens like that. These other three individuals found themselves in a bad situation, and that was it. This elevated Chuco's status because he had been involved and orchestrated a hit on one of the major players within the NF, or a past player. Okay, a very well-respected veterano. So now he's there. Everything I've ever heard besides that about Chuco from people that know him personally was that he was a real righteous individual, very well laced up, very educated, and had a lot of love for the Norteño cause, had a lot of love for Norteños in general, and had a lot of love for the beliefs of his cause, for his familia. This is what you want. This is leadership qualities. Sabes que if the vato didn't fucking rock the boat and played it just right, you never know, man. He could have been in one of those positions. But it seems like in life, everybody's clout chasing. Hey, you, get off my mountain. Everybody wants to be on that fucking mountain. You know, they don't want to go outside in the rain. Nah, Charlie, no one's trying to get rain on them unless you're going to rain some fetty on them. Everyone's trying to be the one with the big stacks on their shoulders, with the big fucking drums on top of that mountain. But there's not room on a mountain for everyone. See, a mountain comes to a peak, that means only one or two or three can stand upon that peak. Everyone else is going to slide down that mountain. And in life, you need to play your role. There's only one quarterback, one tight end, two receivers, two running backs, and a partridge in a fucking pear tree. The head coach is like, what about me? But you're the first to get fired, Chucky. Get out of here. Stop saying the N-word. Now, this is how it is, right? In life. And you need to be able to adapt to that. But when vatos have leadership qualities, it's only a matter of time before they get their chance to play. Yes, you might be on the bench for a little while, but eventually, Holmes, just like Curry, you're going to be the starter and you're going to shine. But vatos can't be patient and they can't wait their time. And this vato felt this was the perfect opportunity for him to fucking jump in the mix and self-appoint himself as a general. Okay, he didn't want to be a capitan. He didn't want to be a fucking RC. He didn't want to be a manpower. He did vato said, fuck that, I'm the general. Orale Lencho, right? Dancing Bear. This is where he went. He elevated his own status right to the top. Okay, and there was no one there to impede his progress because, of course, we all know Conejo, a.k.a. Rabbit, a.k.a. Rabby Rab, a.k.a. fucking, I don't know if I'm from LA or Sakura, decided that if for no other reason, he himself, would cover up all the dirt that he's ever done in his life and self-appoint himself. So him and Chuco brokered a deal. You take this, picked on this shit. I take this. So that's good. We do it in that fashion. And this is how it happened. Of course, DC, being an older vato, a well-respected vato, who, yes, was left with the position of California to uphold it and to appoint righteous individuals to assist these vatos that went to the feds, right? Decided, where do I go? Where do I go? And pretty much didn't say anything. Now, of course, there was a whole bunch of loyalists, a whole bunch of vatos that know what's up. They know what's right. They knew that the vatos in the feds, and I'm not going to say their names anymore. I said from now on, I'm not going to even say these vatos' names are in the feds. It's something but respect. But knew that these vatos were the ones, that these vatos were supposed to be leaders because they were not self-appointed homes, but they were elected leaders. Okay, in the organization, you become elected as a leader. These motherfuckers, people see the qualities in them that are instilled in them, and the true meaning of canalismo and the true meaning of being worthy of the cause, right? These guys were NF through and through. So they were duly elected. Okay, so it's just like when we vote with the president. Even if the ball also fucking raises the gas, you want to get rid of him, you can't. He's duly elected. You just got to go with the flow. Okay, but in this case, these guys were duly elected and righteous in what they were saying. They were right. They seen the future. They already knew what was going to happen. And of course, it played out that way. So you had a lot of loyalists at this time that this whole little state and Fed faction thing was going on. You had a lot of loyalists to the feds. And what these three guys do, these three banditos, I'm going to tell you what they did. They started to have these loyalist hits. Anyone that was identified or even thought to be a loyalist to the Fed faction was hit immediately. They were taking on flights. They were taking off these yards. And these vatos utilized the manpower and the ensoldados to do it. Okay? Vatos that were caught up in the middle. Hey, so I don't know, Holmes. How can you just leave me standing? And it's no disrespect. Righteously, man, the manpower is the backbone to your organization. Everyone needs to understand that. You have leaders that will lead the way, Holmes, but the soldados are the ones that are going to fight to the next day. They're going to shed blood and give up their own sangre, man, for the next episode. You know, that's just the way it is. That's the way I was taught, and that's my belief. Now, these three vatos decided, man, we're going to hit Mateo, we're going to hit BJ, Baby Joker de Watson, we're going to hit these other individuals because they wanted these vatos out the way, because these vatos had questions. So I was scared, where's there's questions, there's always answers. And sometimes people don't like to give the answers because the answers don't fucking benefit them. So they say, Charlie, I don't even know. Let's get hit that. You know, that's how it goes down. And of course, Mateo was hit. Of course, Baby Joker, man, a righteous individual, a solid hitter, man, that's always been loyal to the NF, was hit, man. And now finds himself on a whole different kind of yard, man. Not because he wants to be there, but because he was kind of forced and pushed that way. He was pushed out of the way. And the Placa said, sit your ass down. And the homeboy said, fuck you, dispensa, man. He felt betrayed. I understand where he's coming from. But the real vatos that matter never betrayed him. If anything, they showed nothing but love and canalismo. But they were nowhere to be found, and it wasn't their fault. Sometimes they were locked up in the ADX or way over there in the different state, while these vatos that were running Califas were running wild like fucking Macho Man and Hogan, right? The mega powers were exploding on everybody. They were fucking everyone over. Okay? So now they're caught up. Operation Quiet Storm, and it ain't too quiet, but it's a storm. The hurricane hit. These vatos are implicated, and they're locked up. Now, of course, we're hearing vatos are telling, vatos are flipping, who, why, where, what, how, the 5 W's. We'll find out eventually. Does it really matter to people that are out here on the calles? Charlie. Does it matter to the vatos that are gangbanging? Indubitably. And the reason it does, menudo, and in that style, is because these vatos are still trying to be part of these, you know, these organization-ran gangs. Which is cool, Holmes. I'm not here to poison anyone. I'm not here to say don't do it. Handle your bizwax, Holmes. Handle your fucking business, local. Straight up, man. Do your thing, hey. At the end of the day, whatever fucking makes your heart beat, and if you're a true believer to the cause, righteously so, Holmes. I believe also, Holmes, that one day you'll find out, you know, where your heart really lies. And if it's with the organization, if it's with the people, more power to you, my brother. And if it's not, likewise, more power to you again. Either way, man, it's your life to live. That's all I'm saying, though. And me, myself, Charlie, I also got put in a rock and a hard place. And so I was scared. I just backed on up like a crawdad. Fuck it, man. It's too late for me. You know, I'm a lost soul. I'm done. So I say, fuck it. 2 tears in a bucket. Let's take it to the stage, right? But you have that faction over there that are over there in the feds, man, that have now taken back over or in the works of doing it. And I'm glad, man. I'm here to say I'm glad. I didn't pick and choose no sides, but I'm glad because it's right. Okay? When vatos are leading the homies astray, when they're leading fucking vatos astray for their own benefit and for their own self-gratification, and because they don't fucking have delayed gratification skills and they want everything now. I don't care how. I want it now. Orale, Veruca, go get you a fucking golden egg and do a push it with a Oompa Loompa, bitch. Right? When motherfuckers are doing this, it's not cool. These vatos have the best intentions of the organization. Now, of course, people are wondering, fuck, what about the end of hostilities? You know what I mean? Chuco and fucking Rabbit and all these guys, man, they worked hand in hand with these different organizations to get this implemented, and it's a great thing. Vatos are no longer in the shoe. Vatos are out there making feria. Vatos are out there, you know, basically the correlation is cool, man. Everyone is good. All I can say is, we'll see how it all plays out, man. I hope that it continues. I'm always for the unity of the raza first and foremost, whether it be behind them walls or out here on the calles where everything counts, you know. So I like talking to my southern brothers, and I'm going to continue to anyways because I am no longer an active gang member, so it doesn't matter. I am brown and proud, and that's what it is. Always, Holmes, Califas, brown and proud. That's it. Plain and simple, period on mines. But I don't hate and dissuade any youngsters or any of these vatos that are still doing it from what they're doing, you know. You have to roll with the punches, man. You have to roll with what the dictation is and what that missive says and what that filter says. Orale, that's understandable. We did it back in the days. I did it myself, so I know where you're coming from, homies. Hey, I'm not trying to plead with you, homies. I'm trying to identify with you. Do your thing, homies. Do your thing. But we're talking about, is the game over for the state faction? Over, right? What I believe is that the feds will run everything, and they will self-appoint, not them self-appoint, but they will appoint a duly elected vato from the state, and everything will correlate hand in hand. Now, I'm here to fucking give up their game? Charlie, man, I'm not here to give up their fucking game. However they do or whatever they do, that's their business. At the end of the day, it shouldn't matter too much to us, but of course, everybody wants to know, and guns fucking ain't scared. I ain't no pussy, so I'll fucking say it. Man, the winners won. The ones who were righteous in this movement. The ones who deserve it, the deserving, well-respected generals did that. You know, the other ones that were self-appointed banditos got what they got coming. Now they have to go pay the piper, and his name ain't Rowdy Roddy. You know what I mean? His name is. You already know what time it is. Anyways, at the end of the day, it's a sticky situation. It's a cold situation, but it's part of the game when you're involved in gang life. And when you go up to that high level, things happen. Anyways, man, I hope that you guys move fast with a purpose. I hope that you get everything that you want coming to you. Remember, at the end of the day, it's all about pushing for your gente, whether it be north, whether it be south, whether it be boot dogs, you know, whatever the case may be. It doesn't matter in gang life, man. What matters is familia and raza, man. That's what matters at the end of the day. Those are going to be the ones who put fucking feria on your books, to make sure you have a little sopita in your stomach, to make sure every once in a while when there's a food sale, you get a Burger King Whopper, and have it your way. Bang, bang, the gun. Like and subscribe. If you don't want to, that's understandable too. Have a great day.